everybody. So here's my little video for Labor Day. And in case you didn't know that already, Labor Day in the United States was actually set up in opposition to all laborers in Europe quite some time ago who had their own Labor Day. But, they were labeled as communists, socialists, or whatever. Basically they were to be dismissed, and their concerns are not ours. And they just, I guess they just didn't work as hard. So leave it up to the New York Times editorial a few days ago, which essentially confirms the fact, but doesn't come right out and say it. It says a sobering census report: Americans' meager income gains. And this is about the middle class in America and the lower classes, not the upper 5%. The Census Bureau reported yesterday that median household income rose by only 0.7% last year, its second annual increase in a row, to $48,000 per average household. The median household income last year was still about $1,000 less than 5 years before. 5 years before. And perhaps the most disturbing is that it appears that it is a good thing that it's not going anywhere. This is the New York Times. The gains against poverty last year were remarkably narrow. The poverty rate declined among the elderly. I wonder who the New York Times is talking to, declined among the elderly. But, this is what you get to hear in the mainstream press. But it remained unchanged for people under 65. In the last paragraph, they just said it didn't remain unchanged. In fact, it declined. But in the next paragraph, they say, oh, it remained unchanged. The fortunes of the middle class working Americans also appear less upbeat on closer consideration of the data. Okay, so the New York Times is now evaluating our fortunes. Our homes are being foreclosed, among other things, and indeed, earnings of men and women working full-time actually fell more than 1% last year. This suggests that when household incomes rose, it was because more members of the household went to work. Yeah, no kidding. Not because anybody got a bigger paycheck. Well, leave it up to the New York Times to give us the daily news in terms of economics in our households. It goes way beyond that, actually. Standard measures of inequality did not increase last year, according to the new census data. Standard measures of inequality. So what are the standard measures of inequality according to the New York Times? Well, they don't say. So, but what they do say is this stilted distribution of rewards underscores how economic growth alone has been insufficient to provide better living standards for most American families. What are needed are policies to help spread benefits broadly, be it more progressive taxation or policies to strengthen public education and increase access to affordable health care. This is coming from the New York Times, okay? And And they also say, unfortunately, these policies are unlikely to come from the current administration or the next. Well, there you have it, folks. We're left on our own, and the New York Times isn't going to help us. Happy Labor Day, and I hope you can attend some of these protests coming up, because things are not going to get better. They're just going to get a whole lot worse. Good Labor Day. Bye.